creating and promoting positive national image. I think that this is one of the most important targets and goals we should have. So let us discuss the issue and in detail with our dear guest, Dr. Lola Zaklama, Professor of Advertising and International Communication. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And let's start with this general question regarding the significance of creating and promoting a national image.
Thank you very much for having me. I think when you talk about national image, I think I would like to go one step back and talk about reputation management. The image comes through a reputation. You cannot promote an image depending on unless you know what your reputation is at this time and whether you have any problems in reputation. So I think a step back before we design the communication strategy, we look into the present image. And that's what we do. And I've done a lot of studies on the image of Egypt, and so we are doing a great job, but we need to do more and more and more.
And what are the major findings, Dr. Lola, that you reached during the studies that you conducted on Egypt's image?
The image is a favorable one, yeah, but Egypt is more positioned as it is a tourism. It is definitely positioned as a tourist destination. It's not only a tourist destination. I think we should do more in the promotion of Egypt as a hub for business in the Middle East and in Africa. So we're doing well on the tourism side, alhamdulillah, and we have great events. I've just attended the great and magnificent event in Luxor Temple in Luxor. It was something unbelievable. How it boosted our tourism industry. I saw the tourists standing on the tables and jumping with joy. So events like that help on the tourism. I'm talking about other over and above tourism, because tourism, we're doing fine. Where we are not doing well is on the business front. We are competing with many different countries. We have Turkey, we have Greece, we have so many countries. We need to do much more to attract more business into Egypt, because tourism sells itself. The business community is also in a favorable position, but I don't think we are doing enough in that area. And that is not the role of the government alone. It is our role, the business community. It is our role to promote Egypt for the business community, for the international corporations. Instead of setting masalan, their main office for the region in Dubai. Why in Dubai? Why not Egypt? Not in Sharm el-Sheikh. Why not Egypt? We are offering everything that anybody can want. We have a huge market. We have a very good, well-structured infrastructure. So why not promote the business side too?
How? Because this is very important, and we should go into the details of the steps. There is a lot to be done. Our homework. What's our homework? And what about this fruitful or should be fruitful cooperation between the public sector and the private sector?
Okay. Let us go back. You said one thing in the very beginning. We are doing a good job. We are doing a good job, but we need to do much more. What we need to do more is to promote Egypt to, the tourism is selling itself. So I'm not saying we forget the tourism. No, we continue boosting tourism, but we need to put a lot more emphasis on the business environment in Egypt. We don't have a not positive, we do have an image, but it is not as attractive as other areas in the region, as it should be. We have problems in bureaucracy. We have a problem we have come a long way. I've worked a lot with the Ministry of Investment, a lot. It now takes about 48 hours to set up a company in Egypt. This was never done before. So now we are doing a lot, but we need to still carry on with downplaying the bureaucracy.
Now, there are tools to reach this goal. Tools include diplomacy, international communication, media, mainstream media, social media. Could you tell us about what you think how each of these tools can or should be used?
The tool is a tool, but what you need to do is third-party endorsement. What we need to do is get more and more companies that have set up shop here in Egypt and have done very well. This is where the credibility comes. It's no good for us Egyptians to go and say, yes, our country is great, we're doing very well. Yes, alhamdulillah, we are. But there are also other countries competing for that sector too. So what we need to get is third-party endorsement. I belong to many business associations in Egypt, and the foreigners, the international corporations that have set foot in Egypt are doing extremely well. So these are the ones who should talk about Egypt, not us, the Egyptians. Egypt is our country, but with third-party endorsement is a big corporations like that to come and say, yes, we were going to go to another country, but then we decided on Egypt, and we're glad we made that decision because we're doing extremely well.
And what about exchanging ideas between us and other cultures or other countries? I mean, we are not alone. And by all means, you would find voices are saying that we are now living in one village with the technology, with the communication, with stuff like that. You cannot be separated from the other parts of the world. I mean, it's only just in a split of a second you would send messages to the other side of the universe. How do you see this? And if you want to elaborate on that.
It's an opportunity and a challenge. It's an opportunity because it opens areas for us that instead of holding a conference masalan somewhere in Singapore, you hold it in Egypt and you can send messages across the whole world. But what we are lacking is this kind of commitment from the international world to look at Egypt in a different perspective, not just in a one perspective as a tourism destination. It's a business destination as well. We are done very well on tourism. We need to carry on because we have very serious competition from other countries. The investor has many opportunities to look at. Very different countries offering different opportunities, and I think we need to put a bit more emphasis on attracting business corporations to set up foot in Egypt instead of other countries in the region.
Okay, and Dr. Lola, how far did, for instance, a big international conference like COP27 serve that goal? I mean, COP27 showed that Egypt is a leader and it wants, the best interests of humanity. It tried to get both worlds together, the developing world and the developed world. It was a leader in its continent. And it tried to attract also friendly, environment-friendly businesses to the country. So such big conferences like COP27, how far can they serve this goal of helping business?
We need more COP27 conferences. We need a lot more of them. It was a tremendous success. It helped a lot of business. It helped in every area. But we need a lot of these. Many more. And Egypt can absorb many more because, of course, we're a beautiful destination. So any conference that you hold in Egypt will be a success because Egypt offers things that nobody else can offer in terms of tourism, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of everything. So I think we need to work much more on attracting the business conferences rather than tourism is selling itself. But many people look at Egypt at other countries too. Egypt is unique in its tourism, in its location. But there are other countries in the business community that are offering same or even better benefits. It's not easy. It is a very difficult process. But I think what we need to do is use every single citizen in this world, in this country, to feel that this is his country. We need to communicate this not through the business community, through every citizen. Every citizen should be proud of what East Egypt has achieved.
And it seemed that you were very much impressed with this event which took place in Luxor. If you want to elaborate on it,
it was
your experience there.
It was amazing. It was really amazing because I spent 3 days in Luxor, and believe me, when I saw the tourists jumping on the tables, they were jumping and singing on the tables, because of course Egypt is unique. Where can you hold a function? A musical symphony at the foot of a temple which is 2,000 years old. Where does that exist? Only in Egypt. So this was unique. So we don't have a tourism problem. We don't have a product problem. I think what we need is stronger, more frequent, more efficient, more focused communication. Communication is a wide world. Our tourism is selling itself. I'm not downgrading. I mean, it's easier to sell tourism than to sell the business community, because in tourism you have no competition. With the business community, you can set up office in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, anywhere. But I think we need to focus a lot more on attracting corporations in the business world than on tourism.
You talked, Dr. Lula, about the importance of getting everybody involved, citizens. So, what can we do as a media to raise awareness, be it state-owned media or semi-state-owned or private or social media, to raise the awareness of citizens on the importance of the image?
May I suggest something that works with everything? Whether we're selling a detergent or we're selling the business opportunities in a country, the same concept applies. What we need to do is neither me or you nor anybody can design a communication strategy without involving the stakeholders. What I would really love to do, and it's easy to do, is get a group of young people to see what they know about their own country. What do they aspire to? These young graduates who are growing out of school, they are worried about the future, they are worried about everything. We need to address those because those are your ambassadors. Those are your ambassadors who go out and talk about everything in the open, whether in country or outside the country. We need to work on the youth. The government is doing an excellent job, but the youth, some of them are completely they are worried about the future. They're worried about their jobs. They're worrying where are they going to get the jobs, worrying about everything, cost of living, etc., etc. We all know the challenges. But what we know is get them involved in the decision-making process. Get them involved, telling them, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you want to see. I don't think we're talking enough to the youth. I don't know. Do you know? I don't
With
know.
the World Youth Forums we had in
Yes.
many editions, I think it was really amazing to find all those youth gathered in one place, and not only from Egypt, but from the Arab world, from Africa, from the whole world. And we hear, I think also there are other thousands who wanna, if not repeating this experience, going into this experience again and again.
Yes, we have done an excellent job. We have done an excellent job, but I wish we would repeat this. I know it takes a lot of effort to do it, but we get sponsors and people, and we have the full support of the government and the private sector. in the
Permit me
process.
to interrupt here. I know that you are all the time in direct contact with the youth. What are the most important dreams or ambitions they have?
Important.
What are the most important ambitions or dreams that they have? Because you are all the time
I'm all the
speaking
time
to
with
the
them.
youth.
The ambition is a very, very modest one. We want to have a little. I want to get married. I want to have a small apartment. I want to have enough money to buy a shapka. That's it. There are no more aspirations. This worries me. Is this your whole aspiration? Aren't you aspiring to get better education? Aren't you aspiring, after you've done your graduate studies, don't you aspire to postgraduate studies? Aren't you aspiring to getting, being involved in both working and studying together? This is what is worrying me with the youth. They have no aspirations. They have no aspirations. They think, what worries me when I talk to the youth, the phrase I hear all the time, which worries me, I know it all. I know it all. I know everything. I don't need to study more. يعني أنا at my age, and you know my age, I'm quite old, I do not stop studying. I still write to my professor on marketing research, where I studied research some 30 years ago. I'm still in touch, and he's still sending me what is happening new in the marketing research world. And I'm still learning. At my age, I'm still learning. So that's what I'm wanting to communicate to the youth.
But at the same time, Dr. Lula, I mean, naturally, we all talk to you. I consider myself a person that loves to talk to youth.
Ya
In
Habib.
fact, sometimes I feel that they have such big dreams that sometimes I personally feel that, it's the other side of what you're saying, that it might not be realistic. The dreams they have, I mean, no, they do dream. You have those who want to be big businessmen. You have those who want to be international football stars. You have those who want to be cinema stars. You want those who want to be space engineers and scientists. I mean, no, the youth have a lot of dreams, and they are entitled to dream. But
but realistic بقى
yeah,
يعني
but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not very realistic, because if you don't have the talent, you're not going to be a Ronaldo or a Messi. But I mean, they do have dreams.
they have dreams of becoming successful businessmen. They have dreams of becoming successful businessmen. Is not a hobby that you can just pick up and be. I have, for example, to tell you the honest truth, my driver is looking up to the owner of a compound in the 6 October. That's where he wants to be. He wants to be the owner of a compound. It's legitimate. I'm saying bravo, well done for him. But he can barely, he barely reads and write. Like this is what his aspiration. He wants to be another tycoon. And we do have many tycoons, and they aspire to the tycoons. I'm not a tycoon. I'm a humble communication expert.
Many of the tycoons are not happy. I mean,
Yes.
you could have all the money in the world, but still not be happy, or feel that you haven't achieved. Or I mean, so the feeling of happiness, which I believe should be the ultimate goal, after all, is not guaranteed by being a tycoon. That's the only thing I just wanted.
Can I give you a definition of happiness?
Yeah, please.
Peace of mind. Peace of mind.
And the ability to communicate, since
Of course.
you are
Yes.
a
But that
professor
becomes
of communication.
but that becomes before you have to have peace of mind before, so that you can communicate the peace of mind that you have. So
At least with yourself.
with myself, yes.
And you can address every age category, and you can
Yeah,
communicate
yes,
with
yes.
all age categories. This is very important too. We should reach every age category and to tell them, if you permit me to say so, that they do have a hand. I mean, they should share in building their future with their own hands. I think that this is part and parcel of the correct communication.
But that's what we're doing. We're having a lot of workshops with the young people, because I cannot talk about the young people. I want to know what we have these workshops with these young guys who have aspirations. Yes, alhamdulillah, I'm glad they have aspirations. But how do they want to reach these aspirations is another thing. They want to get there, yalla. I want to get there now. And it's not now, it's 50 years of hard work.
Yeah. Can I go back to the point that you mentioned about the dreams of some of the young girls that you talk to? And allow me to tell you that this is also a legitimate dream. If the girl wants a family,
Of
if
course.
she wants, I mean, when we say the American dream, so what's the American dream? It's to have a house and to have a family and to lead a good life, no matter what the job is. I mean, you could work. You could sell newspapers. You could pick up trash. It doesn't matter. If you have a house, you're going to pay the mortgage over 30 years. If you have a family, if you have kids, and they are educated and taken care of medically, well, that's the dream. That's a beautiful dream. So I just want to discuss this with you. I mean, I would dare to say that it's not wrong for them to have this dream of, oh, I want to get married, I want a family. It's not too modest. Actually,
No,
it's a big dream.
It's normal. It is absolutely normal and legitimate. What I'm saying is, you should aspire, you should be, but in the meantime, please try to be happy. Please have peace with yourself. Please stop looking at the dark side of life. I was told today at a meeting with the business community, everybody had a lot of problems with customs, with taxes, etc., etc., etc. And so I radiate positive energy. I look to the future. Khalas, we've had a harder life. Maybe people my age who've been through a lot and seen what it was like, what Egypt was like, we are praying, we are thanking God 24/7 for what we have become. We have become a business hub, we've become a tourist hub, and we've come a long way.
Then you are that optimistic about the future?
Yes.
This is it, and I think that
And
this is the best thing we should take into consideration and put in mind. We should be that optimistic about the future.
Please use me to radiate this, to communicate this message to the youth who are very, very depressed. They cannot find jobs, they are depressed, they cannot run families, they cannot start a home. but we need to radiate positive energy.
We have to stay optimistic always, because I mean, by staying optimistic, you give yourself a chance to succeed. But if you go into that pessimism cycle, then you're making it that much harder for your own self. So we have to say, I guess, Dr. Lola, we have to stay optimistic in all times, be it the good times or the tough times.
We have to be optimistic in all communication. Communication is the key for success or failure. So use this positive energy communication.
All right, on that beautiful note, dear viewers, on behalf of you, we thank you very much, Dr. Lola Zaklama, the Professor of Advertising and International Communication. It's been a great pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Lola.